Hi, welcome back. In the previous video, we have decomposed the buzzer and the counter along with the processor from the work count frequency programs because we want to manage the cost base for the development easy for the log analyzer program. So in this video, I'm going to separate the main to have the CLI handler because right here, if you look at the code base, it's pretty ugly in the main driver, and the main driver code not supposed to have this long. So in this video, we going to put everything in this CLIs into the new class called the CLI handler, which will use in main, and it will clean up the code might be better for the main driver. So let's code it up. At Onway, I'm gonna open the second terminal where I display the code base. We're going to refactor in one screen, and one screen we're going to create a new file, and we code it up from the code we have here. So in here, let's create the new file called the CLI. So okay, vi cli.py taken for Python. So this Python, in this file you going to have the class called the CLI maybe handler. Yes, so that's it for now. So we change the name and we can go. But for now, let's call that the CLI handler. And in here, you can, if you look at right here on another screen, you see how we handle or how we use the CLI in the mains, and we use that to print the top and works we know. And you can see right here, we check for argument, we check for level, we start entry. But again, the first thing the CLI handle that is the top and work frequency return on the screen. So let's create a function called define, maybe bring the top work. And in here, what you going to put just the results, like whatever the, because we have the processor it going through on the file and read line by line. So if you want just passing the result into this function, that's okay too. So in this one, we can go to the result work and the cow. So it return the result here just return for a pair. And if you have any question why I got pair, I should highly recommend go back and watch the previous video. But in here, assuming we just passing a pair and we going to a pair in the to be clear, that is the link of the pair or like a pair. We will figure out later. But for this define the bring the top works, I just want to bring a pair for now. So in result, and you're gonna bring work colon and count. So the work and the number of the frequency it appear in the file. So that is pretty much for this file. And again, if you want to be fancy, don't forget to give this decryption with the three pair of double quote. 1, 2, 3. We have you to bring the top work frequency. Yep, that is pretty much the first CLI handler function we need to like just bring the top work. The second function I could say just bring the search results. So again, if you see how the file get viewing here, so we first get the file path. Of course, that you get handler in the processor, and you need a top work. The second one need a search. So let's define the second function called the bring search result. and again you passing a result again. It could be the leak, or it could be the leak of the. Let me clear think about this one. So it more makes sense in here like a passing that a leak of the tip, because you go into to the tip, and just again just similar with the bring the top works. You bring the search result in the leak of the tip. It can a tip is mean like two, only have two value, the pair, the first and the second. So again, give that a decryption. You to bring the search work, and down here same thing with the bring the top work. You're gonna have the work count in result, and you bring, yeah, likely equal a link of the tip, and the tip it contain the work and the frequency in here. So you're gonna be work pretty similar with the bring the top work, but we will use that in different scenario later when we go down to driver code. For now, just handing that with me. Okay, and in here you also, let's see what we need to bring out. So we need the entry, yo yo yo, and the netting. I think we need to have another function to bring the log entry, and in this one you passing the log log level is fine. I mess up sometime, but for now just got that log level, and we fix that the level log later as we can go. But we pass the second parameters, that is the entry. So the entry is just like whatever like the link of the log entry the user fitting in the CLI. So you're gonna have like for example like, oh, don't forget the decryption. You to bring the log entry. Yes, just symbol it out, just likely exactly the name of the function. Sometimes the decryption is not needed, or the command for the function is not needed if the function name already have more meaningful on whatever the function is represent, or that is obviously easy function to say, that is bad practice in coding. Anyway, so in here we're going to bring out like the log entry for this log level, and we want them to be upper, and we need the timestamp and the log level, because that is whatever like we analyze in the log file for timestamp and the log level out when we search into like the real log file. And in here again, if you haven't followed this for a while, this is how we read the file. We extract the timestamp at the log level if that is existing the log level the user searching for. And again, we just bring and we check if the entry exists. And again, if you look at in the main file right here, we extract the timestamp, we define this function log entry, and we check for the entry, and we bring the entry time on the entry log level. But for this function, we might need to use the helper function to define the log entry. We use that in the processor to get the log entry later. But for now, just go along with me. Just most of the time, like we just kind of like bring whatever in the main and try to translate or transform into the CLI handler first for now. And in here, like for entry, in the entry, you want to bring out If you look at the menu screen right there, you're gonna bring out the entry and the timestamp. So let's be entry dot timestamp. Be careful with the name, the timestamp, and the log level because uh, that is what we declare in the class decoration in the processor. And last video we spent a lot of time to figure out the right correct name we're using, but in here I think that is pretty simple this time because we have the code side by side. But and we bring an L, we bring yeah, yo, no log level found for log level you have been fitting in the CLI. Yes, that is pretty much for bring the log entry. I will show you how we use that later, but for now, just hanging there with me. And now is the most important and exciting part. If you look at in the main right here, we have the long CLI to define the LAN. We check for the LAN and we extract the parameters, the user passing in the CLI for using the script, and we going to define another methods called the pass arguments and run. I just try to make the name obvious for you guys to follow along. And in here you pass the line, that is just a string. And if you check if the line, check the length, yeah, again like it pretty similar with the main. The first thing you need to check if the length is correct, is valid in here. We passing the file path to the terminal when we executing the program. So in here we need to check the length. If that is smaller than 2, then we have to tell them the correct way to yield the script, or maybe the mixing passing any parameter to yield the CLI. So I'm gonna again do the same thing. If the length of the system human vector is smaller than 2 week, you're gonna bring uh, the yield Python 3 main.py and file path blah 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 in here. So I'm going to like moving and something high there later, but that is what we need to bring out, and we also like kick them out of the terminal by using the this oh forgot the code to glow, and we're gonna do the 6 exec one. So let them rerun the script to get the right parameter or passing enough number of parameter requirement. And in here I forgot to give it a description. You to check and proceed the user CLI input, and pretty much will be the same for everything. So you're going to check for the file path already handler in document. So in here I'm going to copy everything from this side, modify a little bit into this CLI handler under the parser argument running, so it can be hand there. Alright, look at this. I just copy and paste and clean it up a little bit, and you can check it pretty similar in the main we have in here, but I'm going to skip this one for the single log level after, because this one we don't need this thing. We already have the bring out log entry to handle it. I just take it from the search option down here, and on the way down, and I did add a status method decorator because it used to define the status methods within this CLI class, which like I didn't talk or I didn't write us in the previous helper function in utilities cluster at the processor and counter, but I just feel like it's the right time to show you the status methods because it can be either kind of class itself or maybe on the instant, and the use case of that is commonly used for utility function, helper function, or the just the calculation to any related class purpose to requirement the class internally stay. So you can put it right here. If you don't understand why I put right here, you don't have to. I believe it doesn't much impact much the Pythons, but since I'm going to write in Python 3, we're not just putting here start from now on. But again, if we go back in here, we can see we take the the script name. If we go back right here, we see we still start doing by ignore the script name and the file path in the argument, the first argument, and you still do the same thing for log level and search. And in here, since like we're using the work counter and the counter, we do need to import them up above here as well. So I'm gonna double check one more time and go to import that really quick. Yep, look at that. I just copy and paste from the main into the CLI. And one thing I want to mention down here, since like we cut out the status method decorator for in the CLI handler, in here instead of bring out using the print methods we have in the in here instead of using any print search research anything, we can call out the CLI handler and use that methods in here print search work. And if you look at other in the main class, how that look like for when you do the search, you have to go through like the result, you get the result, you can see it, that is, so you can see the difference, right? The result right there, you search for specific work, you passing it into a search specific work, but in here you can, after you get it from search specific work, you can use the CLI handler to bring out the results. You don't have to use this follow-up. So that is what we have in here for status methods. And now let's clean up the main and see if we can use this CLI immediately to run the code we have. And it can be ugly if you look at me clean up more code in main. Big like multiple line, for example, you want to do like 20 DD, yeah, that's how much code you gonna gone, and you can like 10 DD or like 5 DD, 35 line delete, and I don't think like we need those much, and so I'm gonna remove them on and to see if we need anything else. But I think from here that is all we need. So I'm gonna do like 10 DD, 10 DD. So that is pretty much we need for the man. Do we need this one? I don't think we need this one. Let me up and clean it out as well. I think that is pretty much everything we need for this man. You still need the parser. Yeah, you still need the log parser to read the file path. And after this one, you can call the CLI handler. Handler expect correct? Yeah, okay. And you want to pass the argument and and run that is on the line you reading, and from here on the line you get from the parser and the pass argument and run line that is right there. You can say you to check a process the CLI. This is very long methods we have for the pass and argument and run line. Maybe I'm going to fix this later. Now we just want to clean out the main as much as possible to get more clarification of the code. Yeah, of course you may need, you don't need the work this one. Do we need this one? We need the parser. We don't need the log entry. And I don't think we need this one. And we don't need the regular expression as well. I think that's left over from the previous video. But do we need the log processor? No, we only need the parser and log handler, and we also need the CLI import CLI handler. I think that is pretty much we need for main. See how clean it is because we put on the on the CLI. So let's save this file as well and save this file right and quick and go to main. Let's clean this out. Remember how did we use the main, right? So you're gonna call main beton tree. Oh man, and you're going to fix out the log test. And if you want the top end, you're gonna pick like for example like 6 and see if that works. Huh, invalid imports in the CLI syntax seem like in the CLI the problem with line number 5. Let's go back and see. Go to line number 5 by colon import logger import parser from block parser. What it complain about? Import CLI from CLI import the CLI handler import log parser. Oh, oh shit. I think when I import, I copy and paste somehow it duplicate this one. So from from how embarrassing it is. From, and I think that is pretty much we need for again. I'm try to practice Vim in as much as possible, but sometimes I'm being dumb, so please forgive that. And again, try again. So now it said like okay, from collection counter, no more is collection in the COI, and go back again and see from the collection. Is that collection or collection? I believe that is collection. And right quick, that it happen when you do the live demo. Okay, here you go. It's working now. And again, we not sure how much syntax or like how much thing we can copy in the terminal between, especially when I do Vim editor. That is the challenge. But as we go, it can help us see the problem we have, the mistake we make, and we can go back and fix them. That is how we increasing the memorize cost we have during development. And again, oh, like okay, let's test for different thing. For example, if you search for search work, is that so? Let me read the menu again to see like you does correctly. So to read the menu, you can try to like tap something like Python main here, and like it will tell you, oh yeah, this is how you use this. So Python 3 main log file search. For example, the work error. I don't know how to tap. Oh my god. And see if that work. Oh, zero errors. It does so. So we can go and check. error, there are a couple of them. Somehow it returned for us no's. So maybe the bug in the search errors for the CLI. Let's go back in here and you can see, okay, double check. So the search work. Mm, so you can do the same thing. You get the search work, you get the counter, bring, and the result. So I'm pretty sure last time we got in here, and so let's try to put a print statement in here. Result. I think that's it pretty much we need. And try to run again. Let's clean this up. And try to run. Result error 0. So it means our search function doesn't detect the search error correctly. Is that how it's supposed to behave? So let me go back and double check for the CUI. It doesn't return the counter search for the result, and the result get the work counter in the line. I think that is pretty much on the work we have, while it doesn't. Oh, okay. No, it's supposed to give us like the frequency of the work error, right? Let me cut out the log test file again. So we have one error right there, one error right there. Okay, let's see what we're mixing here. So look at closer in here. I anticipate in the CLI the way we passing. Let me see. So we ignore because in like in the main we ignore the Python, the main, and we take from the main. But right now like the main like we also got the file part. So probably we have to ignore. So let me try to see if I can bring out this one. Bring the argument to see if we get that correctly. Yeah, so this for the CUI, we need to save it. So remove this and let's save it. Again, try. So the log argument will be log test search error. It will take from one, then it only have the test file. And let's go back to the CUI to read the logic again. The logic down here. So if the argument, if the length greater than 2 for sure, and oh, I see. So in here, because in like we go into check for the search immediately, we didn't go for the top works, and I don't think we need the file. So you want a file path in here. Yeah, in here you can see that we have the file path. With like we shouldn't need it. So in here, if I update this one to get from 2, right? Let's see. It does fix the problem. So we have the cert, but we have the invalid. Okay, now let's start taking like whatever from the top. So that's good. So CLI, we go in here and we gonna correct a little bit. So instead from we start from 1 and here the top end. So the length is supposed to be greater because we're using the argument not like the system. dark arts anymore, so we stream them out. So in here supposed to be 1. Let me try it out if it works. And oh, still invalid. Hmm. Then let's see what we're mixing in here again. So we have what we have the argument, we have the source, and the argument gonna be so if we take a look at right there, the argument link return for us the CLI source key and the methods the work we're searching for. So if we write here equals 0 and argument greater than 1, because like we streaming out the script name and the file path e argument 0 and argument 1 to be clear. Yeah, so I think this time it should be working for us. So command, go here, we do search. Still that very interesting. So let's see, go back the CLI. So if smaller than 2, then we can get here. So let's walk through the logic again. The length of the argument and see search no search work no the no. Hmm. So the result you know, yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm curious, is that the counter problem? Okay, let's check and look at the counter, the work counter weak on the line. I wonder what that's bringing out for us. So let's put another statement right there. Bring counter. And I wonder what did the counter give us. So the counter, oh yeah, the stupid of me to print this out. So let's redo it and clean out and go to the CLI. I mean the counter, vi counter, and search for specific work. We have the line, we have the parser, work the counter, return the log. Okay, we line we have done that before, but we tested before and it worked in the main. Let's see. Oh, you see, yeah, we got the same problem we had before. So since we got the entry, the log entry are supposed to be log level, not just level, right? So in here, you need to modify this. I don't know why we didn't get this one in the previous problem. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But seems like this is log level, not like the level only. Because if we go into the parser, we define in here the log entry that is the timestamp and the log level. So the log entry we get from the parser supposed to be have the log level, not the just the level. So that is another thing I just figure out the entry. I think we have this problem in the previous video. Somehow we overcome it for some reason. I don't remember. Maybe like I need to go and rewatch a video and recording, but I'm pretty sure this is the bug have been exiting and we didn't use this one much. Or like, did we use them? I don't remember. But anyway, so go back here, we save it, and go out, to get out the parser, and do the still, huh? Now it's make me more curious about what is the here gonna be. So what if before the return we're gonna search in the work and lower work counts, yes, for work search, work in search work. Do we have the work in search work? Work in search work? Yes, that we're right. Let's go back to the main to see are there any problem. So the reason here we get the file path, we get the system file path here, and we're passing to the CLI runner for get the thing. So I'm pretty sure that is pretty much for the counter. So let's get out of this and go to the CLI and again walk through this logic one more time. So we ignore the file name, exec name, yeah, the argument. I don't think the result can be weird if we don't have it, but I know that the result is 0, so we don't need this one. And it's supposed to bring us out the result, but the result is still 0. Huh, that's weird. Let me double check what we are mixing in here one more time. Oh, you see what I'm seeing, right? So how stupid am I when I copy too much and paste right here? So first in here, if we have the argument, we want to get like, we want to stream out this argument vector, then we can call that from up here to ignore it. We still check for the length of the argument if we can. So we just need to be maybe like the length of the system argument vectors is that's smaller than 2, then we execute, and in here we don't need this one, and yeah, we don't need this, and in here that is pretty much what we need so far. Oh man, in here, yeah, that's how bad I'm using v maybe time I cost it up. So that'd be pretty much right. So I walk the so we have the argument through the argument vector got from 2 colon, so that we stream out from 2, and so this is we got like the length and the length of the argument greater than 1, and the argument is equal search, and we can do oh, do we have for the search for the link of the work? Yeah, we should handle line there. So now let's try again. Still error 0. What are we mixing here? What we are mixing here? So we have 2 and y equal 1, I equal 1, blah blah blah. Let me check and look the counter again. So we have the for line. Let's break this out. So for line and sales line entry, log parser entry line, and if the logs not yes, and we return this. Oh, that's the problem? Why we didn't have that problem before? I don't know, let's try it out again. And here we also right quick and try. Oh, I think that is the indents error. Oh my god, stupid of me. So pay attention, before that we have the return that is indents inside the follow. That could be the reason why we didn't get anything. Oh my god, let's get it out here. Yeah, so in here you see try again, log error, like one search for like error, warning, warning. Yeah, 0 warning. It does. We don't have any warning. Oh, it's just once. So here. Oh, okay. So here you go. It's working now. Now let's try with the what are we? We need the log level, the search for the log level or timestamp to see if we can extract the timestamp for specific log level. So we do the same thing. log level for the warm invalid stop and oh, didn't search for that, or like did we use that incorrectly? Uh, Easy. We have the CLI in here open, so you can search for the log level. Oh, you have to have the search and the log level, or like log level. Let's see, log level, level log. Oh my God, I need to manage myself. Make the name consistency. Invalid. Really? Why? So let's see if the argument is equal the log level. Quickly, do we ever in here? So that is my question. We can check it. Look right here, right now. Uh, yeah, that is the wording of me like copy and paste by eyeball tapping between the terminal. I don't know what I'm mixing, but the logic gonna be fun to see if we can ever get in here. So right and quick, and in here we try to run the log level warning invalid log level. Huh. See, so we never get inside there. So let me see. So let's walk through the logic again. In here, we see if we have here anything. Oh, I see. I see. You see what I'm seeing, right? Because we only check for the length when equal search not equal the log level. So I think after the result right here. Okay, I see. I see. So we need another statement L. Let's see up here. L if, and I think we need one space. One space. L if when the length, the argument greater or equal to, and the arguments. So pretty similar with the search, but we want to make sure like we got the log level argument. So in here you're gonna equal dot level log. I think we have that before, but somehow like I removed us when we copy and paste. Oh my God, that's me. Eyeball tapping copy so bad at this. But anyway, let's finish this shit. So log level gonna be the arguments. The first one, I believe so. Yeah, because we stream them out. We need the processor. Gonna be because we use log processor. We have a bow here, and we want to pass in the line, and then we check for the entry. Gonna equal the processor dot get log entry by level, right? Let me check the processor. Log, yeah, log and get log entry by level. And you passing the log level we got about here. And in this entry we have the CLI handler bring just exactly what we have right here. So CLI handler dot bring log entry for log level and entry, and hopefully it gonna run this time, but if it isn't, then we need to figure out why, but I'm pretty sure that is what we're mixing. So now let's go back here and clean this and run. Oh, here we go. Okay, see, that is the problem. So when I transfer the CLI handler, I mean when I transfer on the CLI calls in the main to the CLI file, I think I make tapping or I do something stupid that mixing the search for the log level. But okay, let's try to search for different one. For example, like error. Okay, and like dummy log entry dummy timestamp log no yo no level. Okay, Let's talk for like time case sensitive. Okay, seeing now it's working. Oh my god, so stupid of me. Yeah, so pay attention. Let me walk you through like what we change to the time we coding right here. So before that, we have the main have really big giant file where it have like the counter processor and whatever that I forgot, but have the freaking long CLI command lines in this main. And now after we transfer into this CLI file. I might be maybe we need a little bit more work on this file later, but as you see, we can put on the logic right here in one file, and we just call and utilize them in the main. It looks so clean. I will think about how we can handle this CLI file better, but that is pretty much how we decompose the file. So now let's clean it out, and now let's do the comparison between before and after. We have changed in the workout frequency class. So let me see if where did I have that one. So in here, if I do CC, yeah, okay, we have the workout class. So let's do the workout. So compare with what we have in the first video when we have it. So look at how small it is. We have on the shake separately. The main we have just only like maybe like I could say like 17 line, as you can see right there. And let's see what line we have. Yeah, you look at right here, 21 line, 21, 21 line. Development it's not that big of the deal for 107 line, but see how much work we reduce. I mean, not really how many costs like we separate them out. And if we look at the main right here, so we can have like we already like move them out to the buzzer, we might mount to the like the counter, move that to processor and to the CLI, and that is how we decompose one this big program into like multiple file and use that in the main driver code. With like that on we need supposed to do, not like put in one giant file like this. Yeah, that is how the difference between like new to program and when you have some experiment working with the big program. And that's it. That is the video for today. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you like, give me a thumb up.